Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. I'm Fabrice from 8 Hydrogen. Today, I'll share with you another interesting application that can help us students to a flexible learning in this new normal education. Handa na ba kayo? Tara, talakayin natin ang Google Forms. Such tasks can easily take up considerable amounts of your time and effort. But it doesn't have to, if you know how to leverage. I'll share with you an amazing tool that you can use to easily create beautiful forms, questionnaires, surveys, quizzes, and more. On top of that, it gives you analytics too. Google Forms. Google Forms have been around for a while, but we are starting to use this platform in our studies more and more. Here are some of the most frequently asked questions about Google Forms. What are Google Forms? Google Forms are surveys that allow you to easily collect and gather data. Are Google Forms free? Yes. Using and creating Google Forms is free. There are ready-made Google Forms that you can purchase or use if you don't have time to create in your own. What are Google Form features used commonly in the classroom? Google Forms are a great way to collect contact data from parents, collect interest inventory data from students, and to use self-grading quizzes. How do Google Forms work in Google Classroom? Just put the link to any assignment within Google Classroom. When students click on the link, the Google Form will be opened in their browser. Do I have to assign Google Forms in Google Classroom? No, you don't. Other ways to assign Google Forms to your students, including emailing the link and embedding the link on your class website. How do Google Forms collect responses? Data collected from Google Forms can be viewed within Google Forms or viewed within Google Sheets. I typically view answers within Google Forms because it allows me to quickly find what I need. Viewing the data in Google Sheets will give you the ability to filter and sort your collected data. Will Google Forms grade quizzes? Absolutely! In my opinion, this is the best feature of Google Forms. Using the self-grading feature of Google Forms will save you valuable time. Will Google Forms save progress? Unfortunately, Google Forms will not save your progress. Can Google Forms be used offline? No. Even though some Google apps can be used offline, Google Forms require internet access. And which is better to use for distance learning, Google Slides or Google Forms? It really all depends on what you need. I use both in my studies. Google Slides are more interactive and engaging but not self-grading. However, Google Forms are less interactive but are time saver because they are self-grading. Isn't it interesting, guys? Tara, tuloy pa natin! Collecting information today is becoming more and more relevant than ever. It can be for personal use, for education, or for marketing and business purposes. Napaka-interesting and useful nito, di ba guys? Tara, tuloy pa natin! Create surveys and gather information seamlessly in style. The Google Form Basics. Number 1, forms.google.com. 2, title form. 3, create questions. 4, responses tab. 5, create spreadsheets. 6, preview eyeball. And lastly, share URL. The basic access in Google Forms. Ganito lang siya kadali, guys. Enter Google Forms. Next is to answer to your information collection endeavors. Ask yourself if you're ready to build. Next is to launch your browser, example Google Chrome. Next is to type Google Form in the address or search bar and hit enter. And click here. Sign in with your Google account. Next is to select your account. And also you need to enter your password. And click next. And lastly, welcome to your dashboard. This is your dashboard where you can see more templates that you can use in Google Forms. Let me allow you to discuss with you the Google Form basic functions. Number 1 is to add questions. It adds any type of questions, whether it would be a multiple choice, enumerate, or a question that requires a long or short paragraph. In add questions, we have short answer. In short answer, responses only require a few words. We can set rules people have to follow in their data with data input validation. Great for email addresses or URLs. Next is paragraph. Responses require long-form answers of one or more paragraphs. Data input validation is available for this type of response as well. Next is we have multiple choice. People choose between a set of options, one per question. You can include other and an option so people can input a short answer. Depending on a person's answer, you can also send them to a different section of the form. Moreover, we have check boxes. Responders choose one or more of a set of options, including the other option for a short answer. Depending on a person's answer, we can send them to a different section of the form. We also have drop-down. People choose their answer from a set of options in a drop-down menu, one per question. Based on the answer, you can, again, send people to another section of the form. We also have here the file upload. This allows the person to upload a file in response to a question. Uploaded files use Google Drive space for the survey owner. You can specify the size and type of file people can upload. Furthermore, we have linear scale. People can rate your question on a scale that starts at 0 or 1 and ends on a whole number from 2 to 10. We also have here the multiple choice grid. This creates a grid from which people can select one answer per row. Optionally, you can limit answers to one choice per column and shuffle the row order. We also have here checkbox grid or tick box grid. This option creates a grid from which people can select one or more answer per row. Optionally, you can limit answers to one choice per column and shuffle the row order. At meron pa, ito ay ang date. Responder must choose the date as an answer to the question. The default is day, month, and year. Optionally, you can include the time in people's answer. And lastly, we have time. Responder must choose the time of day or a duration of time. Carry pa ba guys? Tara, huwag tayo sumuko. Google Form basic functions will also have add title. It lets you add a title or description. We also have here add image. In add image, it lets you add an image. And of course, for add video, it lets you add a video. And lastly, we have add section. It lets you separate your Google into different parts as many as you want. Are you guys following me? I hope so. Alam nyo ba na merong pros at cons ang Google Forms? Meron! Ang isa sa mga pros dito ay ito si free online tool that allows you to collect information easily and efficiently. Samantala, ang cons dito ay it's necessary to have internet to be able to use this tool. Another advantage of Google Forms, with Google Forms, you can create surveys in few minutes to ask your clients or collaborators information. However, the design customization is very limited. Advanced users can change the design to use the tool with greater number of purpose. Moreover, Google Forms store the feedback received so we can analyze it in detail. Thus, there are some security concerns and the user has to create a good password and protects it to increase the level of security. And for the pros, at the design level, it's possible to choose between a palette of colors as well as own image as a background. And for the cons, limitations on image size or spreadsheet, and it's not optimized to use in tablet or phone in terms of design and responsiveness. And this is the end of my discussion regarding Google Form Basic along with pros and cons. And it will be continued with my partner Vanna on how to use the Google Form application. Let me leave you with one of the quotation from a famous scientist, Stephen Hawking. We are all now connected by the internet, like neurons in the giant brain. Thank you for listening and God bless. EMC squared!
Thank you, Fabrice, for that wonderful presentation. Now, we can tackle about how to use Form. So first step is go to Google Forms. And how is that? First, go to your available search engine. Next, you search Google Forms. And last is click the first result. Now step 2 is select blank or any desired template. So, as you can see here, there are many templates like the contact information, RSVP, party invite, and t-shirt sign up. You can also access more templates when you click here. Just scroll down. Or, if you wanna customize, what you have to do is click blank. So this is what you will see after you click the blank. So you can edit this untitled form, for example, all about music. Then you can also add questions like who sang best song ever. For step 3, edit and format your Google Form. So I made this form earlier. So as you can see, I filled it with questions and I edited it. Here you can see there are 2 tabs at the top, the questions and responses. And so in this tab, again, there are 3 more tabs. The first tab is summary. In summary, you will see the insights, the name, and the responses that person gave. Next is the questions. You will see here the name of the person who responded. Last is the individual. So if you're making a quiz type form, you will see here what they got right and what they got wrong. So back to the questions tab. This is where you can edit what you want your responders to see. So we have here these buttons explained earlier by Dien. Also, you can customize the theme of the form. You can upload header. As you can see here, I uploaded an image. You can also select your theme color. Select the color Joen. For example, I want red. You can also select background color and also the font style. Now, if the form that you are about to make is part of a group activity or group project, you can add a collaborator. And if you're adding a collaborator, you should know that you're giving that person a full editing access to the form. That person can now view all of the responses and answers. So here is how you can add collaborator. All you have to do is look for the three little dots on the upper right part here of the form, and then look for add collaborators. After that, you can type their Gmail here, for example, and then you can either notify them or not. And then all you have to do is click send. Now another way is go to send, and then at the very bottom here you will see the add collaborators, and the same panel will appear. Step 4. Send it to the people who will fill out the forms. So for the last step, all you gotta do is click send button. You have 4 choices here. You can send it through email. Just click or just type the email here, or you can copy the link and send it through Messenger, or you can send it through HTML or post it on social media such as Facebook or Twitter. So now that you know how to use Google Forms, here is some Google Form add-ons that you can use to organize and save your time. First, here is how to access the add-ons. First step, click on the 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner of the form. Step 2, click on add-ons. Step 3, hover over the add-on you want and click the install button. Step 4, sign in to your Google account and click allow. for the final step, start using your new add-on. Now, for the first add-ons, we have Form Publisher. Form Publisher is an extension that helps you automate document generation and document approval workflow through Google Forms. Now, upon each new form submissions, Form Publisher generates PDFs, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides by automatically importing the data and merging it with the document template, and you can see it in your Google Drive. Now, first, click on the Add-ons button and look for Form Publisher Approval Workflow. And then, after you click that, proceed to click the Get Started. Now, here's the steps to set up Form Publisher. Step 1 is select a template type, whether it's Google Docs, Sheets, or Slides. Step 2, verify if markers are recognized in the Google Forms and in the template. Step 3, set the output folder and the naming convention for generated files. And for step 4, set the rows for email notifications and route your documents for approvals. So for the next add-on is Form Recycler. Form Recycler allows us to recycle from the keyword, recycle questions and sections from other Google Forms files, and use them in a new form. So instead of creating the same questions over and over again, you can use this add-on to save time. So the next add-on is Form Limiter. Form Limiter lets us automatically prevent submissions in Google Forms based on a specific number of responses or a certain date, time, or cell value. So it serves as a lock on our Google Forms. Now once that certain date or time passed by, the people or the persons who has access to the link will no longer have access to the actual Google form. So, to set up Form Limiter, first, click on the Add-on button, look for Form Limiter, and then after that, click Set Limit. And then, this will be the first one to appear on your screen. You have two choices, the date and time, and number of form responses. Now if you choose date and time, you have to simply fill in the date and the time. Then after that, just click Save and Enable. Now if you chose number of forms responses, just fill in the when responses are greater than, and then save and enable. The next add-on is Certify M. Certify M enables us to create online certifications through Google Form. This will provide you several templates you can use to create professionally designed certificates, but you can also create on your own. So again, simply click on Add-on button and choose Certify M, and look for Show Certified Controls. And then click for Turn On and set the passing rate. And last but not the least, choose your template. Now, email address is very important whenever you set up certified add-on, because Gmail is where the responders will receive the certificates and they can download it online. So the last add-on is Google Forms email. The Google Forms email notification add-on does exactly what you would expect it to do. It sends a notification including Google Forms data directly to your email address after someone completes their submissions. Just click Add-on button and look for email notification for Google Forms, and then you will see a variety of choices here, like create email notification, create mobile notification, manage form settings, resend form notification, limit Google form responses. Now, like the form limiter, you can also limit Google form responses here on email notification for forms. Now, to set up email notification for forms, just simply click the create email notification. After that, set up rules. Just fill in the blanks, customize, and just click save. Now, for example, you don't want that certain add-on to use anymore. All you have to do is click on the three little dots in the upper right hand corner of the form. Step 2, click on add-ons. Then search for the add-on you want to remove. And then finally, click on the three dots to the upper right side of the add-on, then select uninstall. So I hope you had fun with us today, and most importantly, you learned well about the use of GForm. Thank you for watching.